Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Praise the living Jesus. Let's say thank you, sir, for the word earlier. And it's time for the question and answer session for today's meeting. So we've curated different questions from different sources. And we'd like to ask the first questions. The first question is, can someone be completely healed from sexual abuse before entering a relationship that is likely to lead to marriage, especially considering that sexual intimacy is an important part of marriage?
Yes, and no. Yes, because you can make a lot of progress about yourself and your perception of men. So there are persons who get sexually abused and they influence generally. I was mentioning part of the teaching how about physical closeness, emotional closeness. There are persons who avoid that because of the experience of sexual abuse. But somebody with that kind of experience will still need a level of safety to feel comfortable with their partner to be able to delve into that in marriage. So you can do a lot of work, make a lot of progress during the courtship, but when you are married, there's still that level of safety that if it's missing, may cause some issues with the person. And if the person has not been involved in sexual experiences, there may be one or two triggers, when the partner wants to, as a result of that. So there will be some level of, that's why I'm saying that you can truly heal from it before a relationship, but there are parts of it that will heal from the safety you find in the relationship based on the partner you have. So,
Alright, so the next question is, how for another relationship after coming out of an abusive relationship?
take a break first. After coming out from an abusive relationship, take a break, detox emotionally and psychologically. Ask yourself questions. What were the things that attracted me to the person, your ex now, that was abusive? What were the things? What were the signs that I saw before the relationship began, but I ignored, that now manifested in the relationship? What were the signs I saw in the relationship that I didn't pay attention to, that grew into the abusive habits or the abuse that was done? And then ask yourself, do I have experience, or is there a part of me or my past and history where there was abuse? Because sometimes people who've gone through abusive past tend to fall into abusive relationship because they are not conscious of certain things, like I just said. So once you've done those things, work on yourself, learn, and date, let me say, what they call it now, they call it talking stage now, do talking stage more intelligently. Okay, from the things you've seen, pay attention to people. Jokes, certain jokes are danger signs. Anybody making jokes about raping somebody will rape somebody. There are certain things that should not be joked about. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. There are statements people make in passing. You don't know people by what they say when you are interviewing them. In quote. You know people by what they say, by the statements that drop in passing. I'm very stubborn. They even said this. I don't even have strikes. You cannot change anything. That's a statement. It's not. Are you stubborn? What will the person say? So there's those things. Once you want to ask questions or interact with people in a way that they are free to open up, and you can hear things without even clocking it when you are hearing it, but you are clocked it mentally. So this thing. Okay. Those things will help you. Once you've done that, you should be able to proceed further. Develop emotionally too.
Thank you, sir. The third question is, should people who are dealing with emotional trauma be dating? If not, how do you know when you have done enough healing to start dating?
people dealing with emotional trauma, should they be dating? Your emotions is already traumatized. You can't see where. Yeah. You can't see where. You won't die without a relationship. I would advise the person to first focus on dropping the baggages. Once they are done dropping the baggages of their emotions, it makes it easier for them to enter a relationship more well and better. If you are dealing with emotional trauma, one of the signs that you know you are ready for a relationship is your level of emotional intelligence, emotional maturity is now well developed compared to how it was before. You are more grown emotionally. Do you understand what I'm saying? You are more grown emotionally compared to before. You're more grown emotionally. So you don't react to things the way you used to. You don't laugh, or you get what I'm saying? Your emotions are well developed. That's one of the, if you're dealing with emotional trauma, it means your emotion is small. Or not small like it was damaged. So how do you know you are ready? You become more emotionally mature, more emotionally intelligent.
Should I stay in a relationship with someone who is still healing from trauma?
So, listen to the full sermon. Go and listen to the full sermon. Dating and trauma to help you. It's well explained. It's not a yes or no. It's dependent on several things. And I've said two primary things is the person self-aware. Number two, is the person growth-oriented? Are they willing to grow from where they are to a better? Are they willing to evolve? And it's not just enough for them to say they are willing. Are you seeing actions being taken? Date patterns reveal people more than proclamations. Whatever they proclaim is not true until you see their patterns, show it. So that answers the question.
Thank you, sir. Is it compulsory to tell someone you are in a relationship with about the traumatic experiences you have been through, even if you're completely healed?
Even if you've completely healed. I want to believe in a serious relationship, depending on, it's not like you are just starting today and then all of your life is outside. But in a serious relationship headed somewhere, there is openness. You shouldn't have things you are hiding. Especially if it's a very interesting past. If those things can show up in the future, what happens? Those are the things that bring trust easily. Because the person feel like, we've been in a relationship for so time. You never mentioned it. Why are you just mentioning it now? Or why am I hearing this from an outsider? So if it's not needed, it's not every past or every history that is needed. But there are certain things that you know, even if you've healed, certain things can cause certain triggers. You can still see. So you can communicate it, because it will also help your partner treat you better and also help nurture you better. Okay? If your partner knows that they shouted on you all your life and now your partner has a loud voice, even when the partner is not shouting, it's like they are shouting. So if the partner is not shouting, it's loudspeaker. So the partner will never understand why you are reacting something, even if you are why you are not happy, even when you are until you communicate it. So it's things like that.
The next question is, if you love a traumatized person but you do not know how to help them and you do not want to let go, what should you do, especially when their struggles are hurting both parties?
Let it go. Well, there are two ways. But you suffer a bit. That's the truth. What you can do is to simply recommend the person to a counselor or a therapist, so the person can have sessions with the person. But pending the growth of the person can still have one or two damages they do on you.
Your question.
Okay, so I had an experience in secondary school where I had a lab coat, obviously, for science related stuff. So one day I found my laptop, my lab coat in my class. It was torn to pieces, and I saw the writings, "I hate you," on it. I was confused at first, but I knew, the intent of the person is obvious. The motives are also obvious. I reported to my parents, I told them about it, and just that I should just, they prayed for me that the protection of God will be over me and everything. I should just overlook it, since the person did not make themselves obvious, or did not make themselves known. So I had a kind of situation recently where I was talking to someone playfully, and the person said, "I hate you," and I'd forgotten that experience since it was almost 5 years now. And when the person said that, "I hate you," it was just play, we were just playing, and the person said, "I hate you," and I remembered that experience. Of the whole lab coat issue and how it just went like that. I didn't know, because at that time I was somewhat scared, but I just person did not show themselves, so that means they don't want to actually show themselves. They cannot do anything to me. So that experience made me flash back to that time where I had that experience with lab coat. So my question is, the fact that the person's statement made me remember that, is it a kind of traumatic, something like that, a traumatic effect, or is it just something I've not just healed from properly, or what exactly is it?
You were in secondary school there. You are not in secondary school now. Well, I guess the statement has become something triggering. So it definitely means there's some things you haven't let go with that experience. If, making that statement automatically triggered the first time you heard that statement. So you need to go back and re-examine how much weight you placed on that experience. The words of a coward shouldn't be taken should be taken with levity. If you are not bold enough to tell me you hate me to my face, you have to hide behind the back, tear my lab coat, and write "I hate you" there. Who is worthy of being hated? Yeah, your stupidity. That's a coward. So if you can't say it to my face, then something is wrong with you. And many times people say those things because they admire qualities in you that they lack. So because they don't have it and they don't have words to express, or they've not been taught how to navigate envy and jealousy, their response is hatred. So they try to bully you so you can shut down those things, and then they can feel comfortable because they made you stop what they see in you that they admire, but they don't see in themselves. Do you get what I'm saying? So people who hate you actually are seeing in you what they want to be. But because they are not there, they try to pull you down too, so everybody can be on the same level. So it's something worth celebrating over when people tell you they hate you. Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. They hated him. The Pharisees and Sadducees hated him because of his influence. He worked so much miraculous power. He had so much authority. People following him were too much, and he started envying him. Envy and jealousy produces it. You get what I'm saying? So you should not look at yourself and say, "I'm somebody worthy of being hate." You should look at yourself and say, "So there are qualities in me that make people jealous." That means God did work very well. Yeah. Because people won't hate you, there's nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? How many times have you seen somebody look at a madman and say, "I hate you"? People don't hate people that are valuable, that are not valuable, that don't look like they are treasuring. People hate people that they admire, who have potentials and qualities that they lack in themselves. And because they don't know how to handle that envy and jealousy, that emotion turns into hatred. So they become a bully to get you to drop your uniqueness. Don't lose your wonder.
Thank you, sir. In a situation where one person is traumatized are not ready to open up because the wound is still very deep. How do you navigate that? How do you know when to keep trying or when to stop pressing the issue?
That's threshold. You can't help somebody who is not willing to talk. Yeah. In counseling, one of the trainings you get is you ask people, do you want help? I know I said earlier, they ask people, do you want help? People will tell you no. Do you want to talk about it? They tell you no. I say, okay. I don't force people to talk about what they don't want to talk about. You can't force people to talk about what they are not willing to talk about. They are not ready to take actions on. So what you can do at best is to pray for the person. And I think it would be unwise to be in a relationship with somebody who is not yet ready to open up emotionally to you, because you will suffer. Yeah, it's true. You will suffer a lot. Because you keep trying to get the person to talk, your effort will be in vain, and the person is just locked up in their own shell, and you end up getting drained. Your time will be wasted, your energy will be wasted, and then you will end up also eating women. All women are stupid, all men are this and that and that. So just step aside, say thank you for not communicating and showing where you are. When you've worked on yourself, if peradventure I'm still single in the future, and both of us have developed, something will happen. Or if not, see you there.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, in a scenario where one person genuinely likes another and desires a relationship, but the other person is not open to it due to trauma, what should be done?
Leave them alone.
The person says, should they keep trying? Or how do you help them face
Leave the
their
person
fears?
alone. Don't be selfish. Let me tell you something. One of the best, sometimes love doesn't mean holding on to. Sometimes the way you show you actually love a person is letting them go. It's letting them go. The person knows why he or she is not open to a relationship. Okay? The person knows why he or she is not open to a relationship. And if you are trying to force the person, you are trying to get something for yourself. You're not considering the person. You're not considering the person. So sometimes the best way to show you love somebody is to let them go. There are people that won't take certain actions to develop until certain, experiences happen to them. So just let her be. You can always find other love.
The next question is, how do I stop working to earn love if I realize that I do so? And how do I balance that with still putting in healthy efforts in a relationship without becoming passive?
How do you stop working? Resign. How do you stop working to earn love? And how do you balance it with putting in effort? One major thing that I would state is people work to earn love from people who are not reciprocating it. Do you get that? Do you get what I'm saying? People, you are trying to earn the love of somebody that is distant. That's what makes you. If somebody is giving you attention, reciprocating, treating you well, you don't try to earn it. So the first question is, why are you attracted to emotionally available persons? Why are you attracted to it? Value yourself. Have some self-respect. And also realize that you are worthy of reciprocation. You shouldn't just pour and pour and pour and you don't get filled to communicate it. Maybe the person doesn't know. Communicate it. When you communicate and you communicate and you communicate and you see the person can't reciprocate, it means the person doesn't have the capacity to love you at your level. And the person is not a right fit if they can't love you at the level you need. People have capacity. You can't blame the person you picked who has a low capacity. So you can't blame a low capacity person for not meeting your high capacity, demand. Let me put it that way. Because you can deliver high, it doesn't mean the person you're in a relationship with can also deliver as such. You get what I'm saying? So people are growing in different levels and different phases. So A naturally healthy relationship is two partners coming together to selflessly serve themselves. I give, you give. I help, you help. We are there for each other. But when you are now the only one trying to like people, and sometimes it begins by trying to buy love, because you feel like if people get to know you, they may not like you as you are. So just resign. Resign from trying to work to earn love, and extend your kindness to people, and also demand reciprocity. If you don't see it, don't proceed into a relationship, or you're in a relationship, already communicate it. If the person can't deliver, after frequent communications, calmly, amicably, you may not be able to have that needs met. So, question. Please use the mic.
For someone whose traumatic effect is numbness, so how do they go?
So for someone whose traumatic effect is numbness, how do they heal? The person hasn't learned how to deal with emotions, so they evade emotions. Numbness is basically blocking emotion, and you are blocking it because you don't want to feel it. So that may be an emotional intelligence something. So why do you run from emotions? You must understand that feeling emotions doesn't make you... It's okay to be emotional. Jesus wept. Did you get? There are several places in the Bible where he said he cried. He gave a loud cry. Even on the cross, he cried. My God, why has thou forsaken me? You get what I'm saying? So God wouldn't give you emotions if He didn't feel you need it. So He planted emotions in you. And this is another part. I hope you know your emotions also play a role in your relationship with God. And people that say, don't be a God, cannot be blackmailed by emotions and everything. Just speak word. That's not so. No. Do you get what I'm saying? God won't give you emotions. He's made you in His own image. If your emotions are not necessary, He won't give you. So you need to ask yourself, what was it in your past? And usually, numbness begins with a very intense emotional experience you don't want to repeat. You don't want to experience again. So ask yourself, at what point did I start developing numbness as a coping mechanism? The junction it began, you will find the emotion you felt. Maybe it's a betrayal, maybe it's a pain, maybe it's something that happened. Maybe it's a betrayal, something that happened. Something that happened or you have clocked it. Your secret is safe. It's a betrayal that happened, and that's what led to you say, I felt too much pain. I can tell you I've been there. There was a betrayal that happened to me. It's not a relationship. Yeah. Somebody did something. I was known for months. I started treating people. They were still around me, but they couldn't reach me anymore. And I think somebody spoke one of those days, and I just realized I will punish innocent people for the crimes of somebody else. I decided I'm going to open this gate again. I'm going to allow myself to feel again, and I felt much alive. And tell you, you have to learn how to manage pain, manage hurts, manage pressures. Those are the things that can help you, because numbing of emotions are just tactics to avoid all those processes. You get what I'm saying? And it's necessary. There are certain heights you won't get to, and if you don't pass through emotional outbreaks, pains, and all those stuff. There's nobody that is great that doesn't get it. So it's a necessary route. So if you are not willing to go through it, you will not experience a level of greatness. You get what I'm saying? So what you need is to learn how to navigate intense emotions and maybe caused by pain, betrayals, and the likes. And then ask yourself, when did it start? Why do I run from it? And then start practicing it gradually. Feel again and ask the Holy Spirit to help you too.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, how do you know that you're truly healing from trauma?
You don't react the same way. Trauma makes you act a certain way. As you heal, your reactions change. It doesn't mean the same events won't happen again. Let's say somebody who grew up in a home that is very, troublesome. You are still in that home, you still visit that home. One of the signs that you are healing is not that the parents stop fighting. One of the signs you are healing is that the effect of their actions on you no longer carries as much weight as it does before. Not because you are numb, but because you've grown to a point where you now understand these are actions between them. And maybe the mother is just a pained child in an adult body who doesn't know better. People do what they think is right. So once you start seeing from that lens, when they call you names, for example, you won't react the same way because you understand that's not who I am. And because you also understand you are just projecting. The more your reactions change, the more people now change. Because they realize the way they used to hurt you before, they can't hurt you again. So they now try to look for another way. When they now realize you're untouchable, then they break.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, how do I move from merely identifying my trauma to actually healing from it without making it my entire identity?
Listen to the sermon, the full sermon, Eating on Trauma. And what do you say there?
How do you heal from it without making it your entire identity?
Like I said, trauma is not your identity. As you heal from it, the blankets will peel off and you find who you are. So, yeah, I think just listen to the entire sermon. It basically answers the question in a more in-depth way.
Second to last question. How do I handle an environment that constantly challenges my mindset about marriage in a negative way? Like, for example,
use your mic.
For example, you do not wash a particular plate. Say you want to wash it
How do you handle an environment that negatively challenges you maritally?
No, that challenges your mindset about
Oh,
marriage.
that challenges your mindset about marriage negatively. It depends on how you interpret the action. For example, the examples you give now. Depends on how you interpret the action. Someone can look at it and say, oh, do you think all the woman is for is washing plates in the husband's house? And that person can look at the same experience and say, maybe she's just teaching me diligence so that when I become a mother or a wife, I can handle certain things better. Diligence in little, diligence in much. You get what I'm saying? People can't hurt you beyond your interpretation of their actions. Yeah, you have power over yourself. Whatever they are saying, how you see it is what determines the effect on you. So if you see it, like the way I just thought it now, everything just goes there, you just washed all the emotions, all the pain, anger that could have, you just washed it away, just like that. What are you saying? You get what I'm saying? That's how it works. So that's why I'm saying these things you can't come up to that point if you don't have a solid core. You don't have a solid identity of yourself. You don't know what you're about. You don't know where you're headed. As long as you're living with your parents, for example, in that context, you are obligated scripturally to follow their rules. If you visit them, you will follow. If I visit home, I wash plates. Yes. With my oil. I wash plates. Do you get what I'm saying? So you don't make innocent actions that don't make innocent statements from parents' mouths. Don't misjudge the innocent statements they make. Let me put it that way. From their own knowledge and from their generation, what they see as wife material is a woman who knows how to take care of the home. And remember, Titus chapter 2, in the first 4 chapters, it says older women should train younger women how to love their husband, their children, and how to take care of their homes. So when mothers are saying wash plates and do this, to them, they are training you to take care of their home. So scripturally, she's not wrong for telling you to wash plates, and this is how you do it in your husband's house. It's just that you may feel insulted because all she has reduced you to is a woman in a husband who washes plates. And because you know that's not who you are, you don't have to fight them. You just know who you are. And even if you are in a relationship and you visit home, you will still wash plates. Yeah, as long as they are your parents, they can tell you to do things. Right? So even if you're in a relationship and you visit home and they tell you, is that what you are going to do in your husband's house? And you and your husband have had discussions around it. You are going to buy a dishwasher, or for example, like, so nobody's washing plates or anything like that. Somebody's still going to build the dishwasher anyway. But you get what I'm saying? Those things are not as important as we make it. They are just trying to train you to be a homemaker. That's what they are trying to do. And you know that homemaking is only one aspect of your life. So learn the lessons from them so that there can be peace at home. And deploy the other aspects of your life where necessary. You get what I'm saying? And if that may not be your own situation, if you're in a place that is negatively challenging your perspective or mindset about marriage, get out. Find a way to get out. Or put in your face positive experiences about marriage that will reinforce your mind towards it. If you are consistently seeing negative things about marriage, you will soon manifest it. So find a way to put yourself. That's why I tell people, if your parents have issues in their marriage, you are not their counselor. When they were dating, you were not there. When they were doing lovey-dovey, you were not there. When they solved the issue that they are reporting to you, you will not be there. So, but your heart will not be the same after they've communicated, because you will hate your father, you will hate your mother, you will feel this, you feel that. Now you are carrying weight that you should not be carrying at your age. You are carrying problems. You are the one thinking of how husband and wife should solve their problem, that they know themselves and they know how they will solve. The people that will fight today, tomorrow, they are fine. Without your input, you will be the one now vexed. Say, why do you now tell me? Yeah. So you don't, thank you, mommy, but please don't help my heart. I'm trying to, don't say I'm trying to have a good marriage, because it's finished. You are dead. Oh my God, yeah, don't say that though. But just tell them, mommy, you know it's you and your husband, you'll be fine. Daddy, it's you and your wife, don't worry, everybody will be fine. Just don't hear things you don't want to ingest, because once you hear it, it's seed. It's seed. You have to weed it out. It is extra work. So it's better to just not hear it. Let them sort their issues with themselves. Go and talk to your pastor, go and talk to your friend. Don't bring issues between both of you to me and be telling me. I will be biased. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's one other thing you can do about that. Don't do that. So get yourself out of the environment. Surround yourself with people who reinforce your positive mindset about it.
Yes. So our final question. When the emotional burden in a relationship becomes too heavy to bear, is it wrong to let the person go? Does letting them go mean you never truly love them? And if they eventually overcome their struggles, is it wise to start dating?
Well, it depends on the nature of the emotional burden now. I don't know what that is, right? And it also depends on the emotional maturity of both of them. There are things that can be worked, but if you realize you do not have the capacity to handle the emotional needs of a person, I think it's also okay to let them go. Both of you may need to take a break and come back. May need to take a break and may need to come back, may choose to come back at a later time. There's a difference between waiting for somebody stupidly because you feel like when they have changed, they will come back for you. Or both of you, God told you, you now need to go separate ways. We'll wait for 6 months before we now date. God now say, let's take a break, something is wrong. But let's say, peradventure, both of you can go your separate ways with the intent that if either of you find somebody they want, they are free to proceed. Except maybe a counselor now places you guys on time period for you to work on certain things and before they come together, those things. So there's always a possibility of coming back, but it depends on what led to it and the nature of the emotional body. Last question.
My question is, what happens when you are scared to talk, when it's going to conflict? You just shut down. I'm not ready to talk about this. Like, it's not like the matter is, you're not just, when it comes to conflict, you don't just want to talk. What causes?
Probably because you've seen the damage conflict has caused before with certain persons, and conflict threatens your safety, the sense of safety. So you are trying to avoid escalating the issue, and then you just decide the best way is to shut down. Let me just avoid it. Let me pretend it's not there. Maybe to just go away. So experiences like that can cause it. Maybe you were never even allowed to express yourself while growing up, so you just learn that the best way to handle social problems is just keep quiet, it will go by itself. So those things can cause it, but as you go, you must learn that it's okay to communicate. Conflict will happen. Okay, it's okay, and it's gradual thing you expose yourself to. When you find yourself shutting down, you have to tell yourself the fact that I'm feeling pressure to shut down doesn't mean I have to shut down, right? And then it means ask yourself, why am I running? What am I running for by shutting down? And then start gradually trying to navigate that divide by communicating with people. I remember I said the way you heal is by doing the things you are running from. So thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Hallelujah. I hope you are blessed.